Today is Monday, and you know what that means. It's Multi-Tool Monday. This Monday, we're going to look at the Leatherman Signal. It's just not for survival. It is for, you can actually use it for EDC, you can use it for a junk drawer, you can use it for auto. And I'm going to talk about all those things. So let's get started. Welcome. This is Haku. EDC is Multi-Tool Monday. As I stated earlier, we're going to be looking at the Leatherman Signal. The Leatherman Signal is this little beauty here. I really like the Leatherman Signal. It comes in multiple colors and it's a nice looking tool. It's one of the better looking tools as far as I'm concerned. It also comes with a pouch. The pouch is no big deal. It's something that they got from Asia, China. Then they put it in. So it does fit. It's made to put on a belt buckle. A pouch for this tool is probably less relevant than in other tools that they have. So let's spend a little bit of time on this particular tool. Let's start off with a few basic things like the weight. As you can tell here, it's about 7.4 ounces, 206 grams. Oops, let me start all over again. It's 214 grams, about 7.5 ounces. Now, how does this signal compare to other items? How about we'll look at the skeletal, which I think is a baby brother of the signal. It's 5.2 ounces. And let's also take a gander at the arc, which is 8.8 ounces. All of these are roughly 4.5 inches long. They're all roughly the same length. If you look at the width of them, the skeletal is the least widest one. Then there is the signal, and then the arc is by far the widest one here. So that's a couple of things to think about when you're looking at purchasing, buying, or needing to want to carry this. Let's go through a few of the tools that we have here. We're going to start with some of the external tools and then we'll work our way inside. This has this unique hammer, and this hammer is something that you can use on nails, or maybe you want to hammer something away from you. Then it's better than nothing. It's got a little clip here. This clip makes it easy to carry on a pack. You can put it on like a belt loop, and then you can carry this on that. That's a couple of different ways of carrying this. It also has a pocket clip here that you can once carry on a belt. You can put it on like a pocket. And then I say that you're less likely to want to need this or carry this with it than pretty much all the other ones, because there's just so many different ways of carrying the Leatherman Signal. It also has a 1/4 inch adapter hole, and I will tell you that, let me just pull out a few things here. While it does work with a 1/4 inch adapter, it is not magnetic at all. So nothing will stay, everything will just fall out. The trick is, if you want to hold something in there, you can grab a piece of paper, you can grab a leaf, you can grab a branch, and then just put it over the top or next to it. Let me just get a little small thin piece. It doesn't have to be a thick piece. In fact, it's better if it's a thin piece. And just put it right over the hole. And then you get out your 1/4 inch bit. Let me see, 1/4 inch bit, and then just put it in there, and you line it up, and you just put it down in there in the way that it gets in there, and then it'll stay. And that does work. I've seen many people use that. I've even used it a couple of times. But as I said, if I need something where I need to torque it or screw it really hard, I'm probably just going to grab something else that I have in place before I end up using this 1/4 inch piece. But as I stated, it does work. This blade can come off, or the tool can come out. And so one of the ways to lock it is by using this little piece here. If you pull it down, it's locked in place, and that makes it really great if you want to carry it in a pouch or pack or pocket and that you're worrying about it opening up. So this will lock it, and then you just push it up to unlock it, and it'll come off. It does, you can set these things here so that it opens very similarly to the ARC or a Free P series ones will open up. I tend to have mine a little tighter than that, and I like it that way because I don't want things to fly open. I just like it to be opened by myself manually. It does have a knife here, 420 HC, I do believe. And if you look closely, the knife is serrated toward the bottom, so just be aware of that. It's a locking blade. On the other side, you have your saw. Oh, here we go. This side here, you have your saw. And this is a damn good saw. For its size, it's good for multiple kinds of woods that you can use. I think that you probably could use it on a plastic pipe if really needed or necessary. And just like the blade, it does lock in place. It's got a liner lock, so just be aware of that. On this side here, sometimes when you're out for a long period of time, you want to sharpen up your knives. This is a knife sharpener. It does come out. You push this down, and then you slide this down, and it will come out. And then you can use this diamond file to sharpen up a knife. It doesn't have to be a knife here. It could be any knife. I am not super good at this hand manual knives, and so I typically don't use that. And that does work. I've seen many people use that. I've even used it a couple of times, but as I said, if I need something where I need to torque it or screw it really hard, I'm probably just going to grab something else that I have in place before I end up using this 1/4 inch piece. But as I stated, it does work. This blade can come off, or the tool can come out. And so one of the ways to lock it is by using this little piece here. If you pull it down, it's locked in place, and that makes it really great if you want to carry it in a pouch or pack or pocket and that you're worrying about it opening up. So this will lock it, and then you just push it up to unlock it, and it'll come off. It does, you can set these things here so that it opens very similarly to the ARC or a Free P series ones will open up. I tend to have mine a little tighter than that, and I like it that way because I don't want things to fly open. I just like it to be opened by myself manually. It does have a knife here, 420 HC, I do believe. And if you look closely, the knife is serrated toward the bottom, so just be aware of that. It's a locking blade. On the other side, you have your saw. Oh, here we go. This side here, you have your saw. And this is a damn good saw. For its size, it's good for multiple kinds of woods that you can use. I think that you probably could use it on a plastic pipe if really needed or necessary. And just like the blade, it does lock in place. It's got a liner lock, so just be aware of that. On this side here, sometimes when you're out for a long period of time, you want to sharpen up your knives. This is a knife sharpener. It does come out. You push this down, and then you slide this down, and it will come out. And then you can use this diamond file to sharpen up a knife. It doesn't have to be a knife here. It could be any knife. I am not super good at this hand manual knives, and so I typically don't use that. I probably could use it if it was emergency, but I probably would not use it. On the other outside is there's a little flint rod here, our ferrous rod here, that you can strike. You can actually use this to strike it with, or any number of things. And this actually comes out, and I'll show you how it comes out in just a minute. Now we're going to open it up. And when you open it up, if you look closely, there's another pin in here that you can use. And if you bring the pin down, Then this Ferris rod comes out and it also shows a whistle. And whistles are great because if you're in any kind of dangerous situation, whether with an animal that's close by, you want to scare the animal away, you can whistle, or if you're in danger in some way, a whistle will make sound carry much further than your voice will carry. And so it just fits, and then so just be aware that this has to go back to fit in there. So just make sure that you bring this back here to fit that in there. I'm going to leave it out for now because I'm going to show you it just goes all the way through here. Now the pliers are really one of these things that in my mind is sort of a hero device that is unsung. The pliers on the Signal are just fantastic and better than pliers on a lot of items by Leatherman and others. I will just quickly show you the pliers that are. These are the pliers that you get on the skeletal, and you can tell that they're much thinner, not quite as big. And the ones here have replaceable ones. These are not replaceable. These are much thicker, heavier duty, and even you can compare these to the Arc. Now, the Arc pliers are going to be a little bit more, in my mind, pointy at the end, much more needle nosy. They both have replaceable cutters, and the width of them, as you look at the Arc, is not significantly wider than the Signal is, and they're almost the same length. The Signal, the Arc ones are just a little bit bigger. So that's why there's not much other pliers can do than the pliers that are on the Signal. So you have your needle nose, you have something to grab a bolt, you have some wire cutters, you can crunch some wires. I've used it mostly to twist wires with, and I've used it to carry things that are hot right off a camp stove, and they do work. I've been very surprised how well the pliers work. Now, this is not a tool that I'm going to carry around, generally speaking, but it is a tool that you can put in your car. It has part of a bug out kit, has part of even a junk drawer, although it's pretty expensive to do that, and it will come in handy. The other things that I didn't talk about here that I am going to talk about that makes the tool even more valuable are some of the inside tools. On this side, there are no inside tools. On this particular side, you have your inside tools here. And what you have is you have an all and oops, a can opener here, bottle for opening cans. You probably can open a bottle with it too, but it's mostly for like cans. And then it has another tool that will make you think about the skull tool and other ones. It has a locking screwdriver, and this end you have a Phillips and a straight edge one. And so that makes it pretty versatile for just around the home kinds of repairs. And that's why, or just basic sort of car repair stuff. And I do mean basic. I don't mean anything's hard to do. It is, and all of these are locking, and you lock it and unlock it by pressing here. And just be careful when you're closing it to make sure that I've done this a number of times to make sure that this is out of the way of closing it. So this is the Leatherman Signal. Now I've showed you a few things that are its competitors. If you want something that is a little bit less expensive, then obviously the Skull Tool gets you a whole bunch of stuff, except for you won't get things like the whistle or the flint or something to help with your blades. So you don't get that on here, but you get pretty much everything else that's in here, and then you can buy third-party stuff to have like a little hammer here like I did, and other things you can if need be, and that you can actually carry an extra Leatherman bit in here that you can't do with the Signal. I'm not sure why you would need an extra one, but in case you did, the other one that is the most comparable to this would be Roxxon Spark. And the Spark has pretty much everything that this one, except for it does not have a whistle, but it has a little thing to help sharpen your blade, and it also has got a Ferris rod, just does not have the whistle with it. Or it does have a 1/4 inch extender, extender that is very similar to what you would see on, I think, the Gerber MP. The other one that would be a little cheaper to get would be if I got a Victorinox Outrider or Forester. You don't get pliers, but you can pick up some pliers, some decent pliers from anywhere from $8 to $35, just depending upon the level of quality. And on this happens to be the Outrider, but I have all the other same tools, and what I added was a little flint rod here that would go in where the toothpick would go, and then I got some tinder around there, around the corkscrew. And you can put little screws around the corkscrew there, but otherwise, it's pretty close to what you're going to get. I said, no pliers. And I think that the pliers and wire cutters on the Signal is a pretty significant tool, and also having a whistle is also a pretty significant tool. So I've gone through the Leatherman Signals. I gave you a few options for items you may want to compare the two. And as I stated, this is a little bit more than just your typical survival tool. It can be used for EDC, but I think it's more like a auto repair help tool or around the home help tool than it is a regular EDC carrying tool. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. This is Haku EDC, and if you're interested in more things related to multi-tools, please click up here. And if you just want some general EDC stuff, or maybe something related to, let's say, something else, then click on the other one. See you in the future.